And on this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Xtool IP900S, which is probably the most advanced bidirectional scanner I have reviewed yet. It has topology. It also supports service functions, live data, and key programming, as well as support for older vehicles that do not use the standard OBD2 port. And on this video, I'm going to walk you through its features as well as show you the contents of the kit. And as always, I'd like to remind you that I place a link in the description down below to this scanner in case you'd like to get one for yourself. And the IP900S comes in on this heavy-duty case, big heavy-duty hinges, and inside we have the scanner as well as quite a bit of accessories. Let me show you what's inside. And starting with this first section right here, there is an included power adapter, and that power adapter does have different face plates. That way we can use this power adapter in different parts of the world. Now you'll notice that the power adapter uses a standard USB-C to USB-C cable to recharge the tablet. Now what these guys are right here, this allows us to interface to vehicles that have a custom connector. For example, this is a Mitsubishi adapter. This one right here happens to be for Mercedes-Benz, and this guy right here happens to be for BMW. Moving over to the next section, there is a quick start guide and additional adapters. Again, for those vehicles that use a proprietary connector that is not OBD, it's a universal one. This one happens to be for Audi, and there is 3 additional ones in here, and I'll show you again what they look like. The first one happens to be for Nissan, and this next one happens to be one for GM, Daewoo, and this last guy right here, Mazda. Additional adapters are underneath the scanner. Let's take a look at those. This one right here is for Fiat. This one right here is for Honda. This one right here is for Toyota. This one right here is for Kia. This one is for Hyundai and Kia. And this one right here is for Suzuki. However, most vehicles are gonna use the standard OBD2 connector, and that is this guy right here, which is that normal OBD2 adapter. And as far as how this is connected to the scanner, that is done with this cable. This end is gonna go right here. The other end is gonna go to the scanner. And now let's take a closer look at the scanner. We get an 8-inch touchscreen, and both sides of the scanner have rubberization on there, so this feels like it does provide quite a bit of grip. Unfortunately, around the scanner, this is all plastic, so if you were to drop the scanner, there is not a lot of drop protection on the top and the bottom, probably just a little bit on the sides. And on the back of the scanner, there is a camera with flash and also a kickstand, and the kickstand feels nice and heavy duty. It's aluminum, which tells me it's gonna feel like it's gonna last. And finally, moving to the top, there is a USB-C port protected by a dust cover, the connection for the VCI and power button. And there are 2 ways to diagnose a vehicle. The very first way is to manually select your vehicle make from the list, and I'm gonna scroll through here slowly. That way you can see if your vehicle is on this coverage list. Now this is for vehicles of Europe. I'm gonna show you the next one. There is one more, and the last one. And the second way, which is even faster, is to automatically have the scanner identify your vehicle. And as you can see, it has identified that this is a Toyota. And now we're giving the following choices. And I'm gonna go ahead and select an automatic scan. Now what the automatic scan is gonna do is gonna run topology. And as you can see, it's checking all the systems that this vehicle are equipped with, looking for any kind of DTCs, basically any error codes. Now with the scan complete, you can see which systems pass, they're indicated by green, which ones have a malfunction, they're indicated by the orange, and as you can see, it found several ones in the different systems of this vehicle. And if you wanted to get further detail, you can tap on that and it's going to show you, yep, 4 issues were found under TPMS, hit diagnose, it tells me what TPMS is, and then it's gonna go to that particular module where I can actually get the details of the issues that were found. You can can also access special functions for the particular module that you are working with, and there's even a repairs tip pop-up. And if you don't care for topology, you can always switch to list, and it's going to give you that traditional list of all the different systems that were scanned, and again, which ones had faults in them. And going back to the main summary screen, you can also choose to output this as a report and see all the DTCs in one click. Or you can clear all the DTCs again with one touch. And one thing I really like about this scanner is how it gives you information about things that you may not know. For example, power source. I might not be fully familiar with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and tap on that. And if I hit the diagnose, it tells me what the particular module does. This is tremendously helpful, especially if you're new to this style of scanners. But let's go inside of another module. I'm gonna go inside of the ECM. Now there are no DTCs on the ECM, but I do wanna show you a couple interesting things. One of them is this actuation test. These are different things that the scanner can control with this bidirectional capability, and in this particular vehicle supports quite a bit of things that can be activated by the scanner. Now let's take a look at live data. And this list can be quite extensive. This is going to depend on your vehicle, but it can potentially pull a lot of PIDs, which is the different values and information that is coming from the vehicle. That way you can take a look at them for troubleshooting. The other thing you can do with this live data is select them with a check mark. For example, I'm going to select here 8 different items. Now, by the way, 8 different parameters is the maximum amount of parameters that you can combine in one screen. And I'm gonna go ahead and select custom, and here we go. 8 parameters in one screen. Now, another thing what you can do once you have those 8 parameters, you can choose to see them as a list, or you can choose to show them as this graph, or you can choose to have them as a graph. Now this particular one is convenient because I can scroll through each graph individually. And again, let's give it some reps on here. Let's see if that changes. There we go. Or you can go back over here, and again, we're gonna select custom chart, and let's take a look at the last one, which is the 2D graph. Now this is one that a lot of mechanics find particularly helpful, because here's where you're combining multiple PIDs in one graph, and this allows you to understand the relationship between them. And each one is color coded, and you see what they pertain to or where they are graphing. Now you can also choose to record this, and then you can review this later because it's gonna be saved as a CSV file on the tool and can be used to play back this information. And in case you're overwhelmed by the number of items that are on the screen, in this particular case, total of 313 items, you could potentially find it by scrolling down the list, but I find it a lot easier to use the search function and then just type in the item that I'm looking for, and in this particular case, it's gonna show you everything that relates to, in this particular case, fuel, and then I can go ahead and select that item. It's gonna take me directly to that item, and I see the value. And I keep finding screens like this on the scanner, which I find really helpful. For example, shortcuts to the most commonly used items, such as this oil reset, but also repair tips, which again is tremendously helpful, especially if you don't have access to the service manual. To have this information included in the scanner, I find that a huge plus. And there are some cases where a full scan of the vehicle may not make a lot of sense. Perhaps you only need standard OBD2 diagnostics, and you can access that from right here with this OBD2 icon, and then you can select the protocol that works with your vehicle, or you can have the scanner find that automatically for you. Before I go inside of there, I do want to show you again that there are help icons throughout the scanner, and those help icons can be very helpful. For example, this has a DTC library, and even this About OBD tab. It's kind of having like a portable Wikipedia with you built in right into your scanner. But let's go back inside of there, and this time I'm going to go ahead and tap Auto Scan. Now, when you do an OBD2 diagnostics, you are also going to be able to read the trouble codes, clear any trouble codes, access live data, read freeze frame data, component test, and a bunch of other things, but these are limited to OBD2 diagnostics. If you want more advanced diagnostics or access to the different systems of the vehicle, that's where you're going to want to do a full scan of the system. But now let's move over to special functions, and there's quite a bit of them. Oil reset, ABS bleeding, BMS reset, TPMS reset, injector coating, and more. And I'm going to scroll through here a little bit slowly That way you can see if the service that you are looking for is included in this scanner. The next large tab is Report. Here's where you're gonna find a summary of the vehicles you tested and any live data that you recorded. Next up is gonna be Updates, and this scanner includes 3 years of updates. Now there are 2 ways to update the scanner. The very first one is just to tap an individual update, or my favorite one is just to use the Update All function. Now let's take a look inside of this More icon. First off, you have access to your full profile and also a shortcut to the endoscope app in case you happen to have that upgrade, and a copy of the user manual. And now let's take a look behind the scenes by using the home button. And as you can see, this is really an Android tablet, and we do have several apps that have been preloaded on here, my favorite one being a Chrome browser. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna navigate to YouTube so we can test out the video and audio capability. And on this video, I'll be reviewing the Xtool IP616 Advanced Diagnostic tool. Now this OBD2 scan tool is able to do special functions such as adding keys to a vehicle or programming things that are related to the immobilizer of the vehicle, resetting the parking brake, ABS, and more. It is also able to do That's not too bad. But let's also talk about key programming. Now some vehicles will let you program a key fairly easy and it'll be fairly straightforward. However, on other vehicles, it can be very complex, and in some cases, you may even require a PIN number from the dealer in order for the scanner to program a key into your vehicle. And that is the case with my Toyota vehicle. It requires a PIN number. So even with an advanced tool like this, I have to go to the dealer and purchase that PIN number. But here's the big gotcha when trying to obtain a PIN number from the dealer. You're probably gonna be required to show that you have a locksmith license, that you are qualified to obtain this number and program a key. This particular scanner has the ability in most cases to be able to generate and obtain that PIN code for you. Now you do have to load it with points in order for you to be able to do that, and those points can be purchased from Xtool, but again, it saves me the hassle of going to the dealer, and all of it happens in the tool instantaneously, and then I can program a key, as you can see here, successfully. So I think this scanner is gonna be a great choice for somebody who's looking for a ton of capability in their tool and doesn't mind having a wire connection to the car. Now sometimes there are cases where it is nice to have the scanner outside of the vehicle. You're out all the way in the engine bay tweaking stuff and seeing the data on here. If that is what you're trying to do, then definitely go for a wireless, but expect that the price will be more than a normal cable connected scanner. But there is one large benefit to having the scanner connect with a cable to your vehicle, and I actually ran into it when I was testing the scanner. I forgot to charge it, so the battery was pretty much close to dead, and when I go to the car and I plug this guy into the car, the scanner begins to charge from the vehicle. If I was using a wireless scanner, I would not be able to do that. I would have to wait, charge the scanner, wait till it has enough charge, and then go work in the vehicle, and then keep an eye out on my battery level to make sure I don't run out of battery while I'm diagnosing the vehicle. So that is one benefit. So remember, I placed a link in the description down below to the scanner, and I have also placed links to my prior review for the other Xtool scanners. If you don't need this level of capability, maybe you need something a little bit less, I'll put links to those videos in the description down below. And if you guys have any other questions regarding this, please put that in the comments. Also, if you found any part of this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button to support the channel, and stay tuned as I have a lot more scanner reviews coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.